Hello YouTube, this is Gorilla Todd back for another, this is going to actually be a contest entry. This contest entry is for Exilestate Comics. Watched a couple of your videos, man. Looks like you're doing some really good information, really fun. I like the whole setup you got going on, and I'm subscribed, and I will keep watching. I'm a relatively new YouTuber. I'm relatively new to the whole YouTube thing, so my lighting's weak. Everything's going to get better as time goes on. So, first things first, Exilestate 500 subscriber contest. He asked, what is the favorite superhero, your favorite superhero? I'm going to go a little bit, maybe deeper than expectations in a sense. Well, my initial and first reaction is, well, it really just depends on what point in my life you're asking. Because in all honesty, as a little boy, and I've seen some other videos, I think Silver Age Dave, you talked about how you watched the iconic Batman TV show way back when. And I'll be honest, my story is very similar. I watched that show. I'm pretty sure it was, I know it was in reruns by the time I was watching it, but really and truly that didn't matter to me. It was between, when I really thought of Batman as a little boy, it was Adam West too, and that was what Batman was to me, and I idolized him. I mean, I remember I had a little plastic bat cycle that I used to ride. I mean, this is before kindergarten. I used to ride that little thing down the street into the next yard, and that was my little patrol. But it would be to the next house and back, and then I was ready for some more cookies or something. I needed a snack, so I don't know how great a superhero I would be in real life, but hey. So if you ask me when I was a little kid, without a doubt, it'd be Batman. And it's always stayed with me. Batman is a character that I've always loved. I've collected Batman, and he's always been second to none as far as I'm concerned. But if I'm honest, I have to tell you, there's been times in my life where I was reading, and Batman wasn't always the most important book to me that I was reading. So he wasn't always my favorite character in the sense, not the book that I want to read right away. And I'm just being honest. If I go to like a few years later out of being a young kid and I'm more of a teenager, now I'm going to more move into, like, honestly, it's more of a following of a combination of writing and art that is going to attract me more than just the visceral characteristics. So what really got my attention around 6th, 7th, 8th grade and middle school is Frank Miller's run on Daredevil. And I wasn't buying these, I didn't get these books new, I wasn't buying these off the stands, because this stuff was all out before I was really actively collecting. A little bit, just a little bit before. I missed them by a couple years. But really and truly, these are all books that I've collected. I've probably got the entire Miller run. I've got the first Elektra. I'm sure it's a pretty nice copy. I mean, I've read it. I'm not going to lie to you, and I don't care, because that's why I bought it. And I'd still own a trade paperback or whatever just to preserve the books. But, at that point, it was Daredevil. Now, there's another time I got into another run, and that is the Walt Simonson Thor. And I've actually had the pleasure to meet Walt Simonson a few times, and he signed this my original copy of Thor 337, which was kind of awesome. Now, this is when I started collecting when books were 60-cent cover price. So this is one of my earliest books, and so and I've always kept my books. If you watch my first video, I show you my very first comic that I have, G.I. Joe 29. It's still in decent shape considering how old it is and how many times I've read it. This is a pretty clean book. Who cares? I never think to sell it. It's in my collection forever. It's that simple with me. So, My other character that I probably would say that I love and is one of my favorites is Thor. I don't have any Thor books handy. I have tons of them around, but I'll be honest with you, I'm in a new house and I'm reorganizing, so things are just kind of all over the place. But my three favorite ongoing heroes are probably Batman, Daredevil, and Thor. Now, I have to mention one other book. And this was one that I discovered later on after I had read Thor. If you're a fan of Walt Simonson, he and Archie Goodwin did a book. I think it was a backup in some issues of Detective Comics called The Original Manhunter. Let me see. I may have a copy handy. Okay. Now this is what's called the special edition. This is not the original version. Like I said, it was in Detective Comics, I believe. Yeah, it was originally published from 1973 to 1974. DC Comics Manhunter was hailed by comic fans and professionals alike as one of the most innovative series ever conceived. The Academy of Comic Book Arts awarded the series and its creators 6 awards. Okay. So there's there's some great caricatures by Walt Simonson of himself and Archie Goodwin. And then the story begins. Now this is I think what this special edition does is it has a special last chapter where Manhunter actually meets Batman. So that's kind of a little rundown of some of my favorites. Again, I feel like it's tough when you've collected for so long, and I've really gotten into different art styles and different books. So, but I think that's a pretty honest assessment of some of my really top tier, my favorites. So, again, if you made it through the whole video, sorry I'm a little long-winded on this one, but thank you for watching. This is Gorilla Todd, and until next time, till we get more Gorilla Todd goodness, thank you. Please sub. Please like the video if you do, and I'll see you next time.